If you see here, I have opened GitHub Copilot, which we are using it for many days. I've created a series playlist GHCP, right? So in this video, we'll see that how with the Copilot you can customize stuff. So if you see that in the response, there is a tip that is coming over here, right? You see a tip is there in the response. Even in my other responses, you see some tip is coming. So how we can bring that tip and how we can customize Copilot, and we'll specifically worked on this, right? You see so many options are coming and at the rate, right? So how they can help you, how they can make your code better, they can review it, they can suggest some things which are missing in your code. Let's begin. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to create a folder called as .github, which you see here, and under that you can create a file called as copilotinstructions.md. Right. So in this, whatever you write, it will act as a context. So whenever Copilot will send, like we in the last we understood the life cycle of GHCP, what happens is whenever Copilot sends something, it convert it into a natural language prompt, right? Before sending it to LLM, by which you get the response. Correct. So if you will add something in this file, what will happen is that will get attached as an additional context, right? So what I said is this project is a C# based, right? And here I wrote that give a coding tip after each suggestion. So whatever you will write, it will add it as an additional information, and that will help in generating code, right? So let me show you another thing. So this is the place where you can see that the history of the prompts, right? If you want to go to a previous prompt, you can click on this. So this is 2 weeks ago, right? So what happened here is I asked something that from the list, let's say this is a country code of something, and I wanted that it should be randomly assigned, right? So it has written a code. So if you notice in this code, this is a Java code, right? S is capital in string. In C#, it is generally like this, where S is a small s. Right, and this is a Java class, and so at that time I was not having this copilot instructions.md, right? This markdown file. This I have added today, right? So now if you will see, it has given me C# suggestions, right? So let me show you one example, right? So I have, if you see, I didn't ask it. What I said is how to remove something from the list, right? So it has automatically attached the copilot instruction, and now the result is given in C#. In my prompt, I have not written that I need it in C#, Python, or whatever, right? So whatever customization you want to do, maybe you want to see more than one suggestion always, or you want the code to be always secure, always right, or whatever things that you want to add it as an addition here, right? Maybe a particular formatting, maybe a particular names, right? So let's say you want all the variables in Pascal case or snake case, right? Whatever are the different things that you want to write, you can write it here. So accordingly, it will pass it and you will get the expectations accordingly, right? So here you see that it has given me the code in C#, right? Till this place, it has not given me the tip because by that time I was doing that, I did not added this last line, right? I added this line, so it is giving me, right? I'll show you a practical example as well where I'll add I want to know a joke about testing. Yeah. So let's I have added this and I have saved it. Right now, let me ask it something, and I can open some other file as well. So don't think that because I have opened that file, that's why it is sending the context. Generally, it sends that context if the file is open, right? So here, if you see, this is the context open. So still, I'll ask it that how many functions are there in this class, right? So you can ask this kind of question as well. So let's see if it gives me a joke and a tip at the end. This is just a random search I did, right? So if you see here for references, though this was open, it has sent two references, right? It has sent this as well, copilot instructions.md. Right now, again, it has given me a coding tip because I have asked for it. Right now, other thing is here is a testing joke. Why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attract bugs, right? Recently, somebody has posted this on LinkedIn. So yeah, they might have taken it from AI. So this is how you can customize stuff. Oh, also, like if you do a mistake, right? The good part about AI is it can catch stuff, right? Which maybe you missed it, right? For example, I intentionally wrote this that this is a C sharp based project, but it is not. It is a Java based project, right? So let's see if it has find it out, right? So I was showing you this, that's how to remove list, right? It gave me, and then I asked, is this the only way to do it, right? The good part about AI is it always remembers the context, right? Because I have not started a new chat, right? So it means that it understood that it has given me this thing. Now I am asking a further question. So this you cannot do on Google, right? So this is specifically very good that I like about AI. Right now I have asked this, so it told there are several ways and it gave the tips, right? And we asked how many functions are there. This I just asked, right? So it gave total 15 functions are there in this class. Okay, let me show you some other things which I just did. So some things which you don't understand, let's say when you are trying this thing and you are not following me that, oh, how I did that. So you can ask the question to Copilot here, GitHub Copilot, right? So it will suggest you stuff, right? So in this video, let's focus on this which we talked, right? So when you type @, there are many options that would come here and they are very useful, right? And also the other thing that comes is slash, like which we have seen previously in the video, like you can explain code fix, right? Text fix failure. And there are some interesting ones which I recently saw and they are really helpful, right? So try all of them, right? By which you can generate tests, you can explain code. Also, if you see, it is suggesting automatically, right? And here I can change the model. This you can anyways do it on the GitHub site, right? Now let me show you the things which I already did, right, to save time, right? So what I did is when I type it gave me VS Code, right? And then I gave start, so it gave me start debugging, right? I want to debug because generally many people don't use VS Code for Java, right? So I was starting debugging, so it gave me an option that, oh, you have to create this file, launch.json and then task.json, which I created here, right? Also, you can automatically create or make those changes if you see this button, apply in editor, right? This option comes if you add Copilot edits, right? So it has given this. Now you can get your code also reviewed by GitHub Copilot, right? So what I did is I said changes, right? Because I wanted to get reviews. I just deleted LAR results, right? That like those files were not needed. I added this git ignore and made those changes, right? So what it did is it has reviewed the code and it has suggested that okay, if you see, it has found the problem that the project is described as C sharp, right, in the Copilot markdown file, but it is a Java, right? So it has found out that, right? Now it started explaining me about that, right? And it is telling me the problems, right? That it is telling me the problems that instances are not properly managed. There is no try, because I created this repo just to cover an end-to-end basic flow, right? So there are many problems that are there. Now it has found a problem also. Like this code might not compile, right, if I will just raise the PR directly, right? So if you see, the function to detect factorial method has a syntax error, right? So let's go to this file and here is the change, apply in editor, it is going right. So let me go to that file apptest.java, search this function to detect factorial, right? So if you see here, yeah, I missed to add this, right? So I can add a semicolon and this, right? Now it is okay. Would we move to a separate? So it is suggesting me that how different things. So what are the recommendation it is giving me, right? That code quality, I have to add this, test configuration properly, logging framework is not there, right? And again, it gave a very good tip that wait strategies are important, right? Other things I did was that there is something called as hash problems, right? So that is also a good thing where you can ask about the warnings that are there in this project, right? So I gave that, it gave me all the warnings, right? So this again is like, let's first fix the syntax in function to detect factorial. Yeah, this one we already fixed, right? So now if you see, the code was very basic here, right? Because I was focusing on Azure DevOps in this, so this is the basic code, right? So people like they find it hard how to go create a framework, right? So this can easily help you in putting things properly, right? So what it suggested is I should create a base class, right? We get a driver from the base class, so which it has already created a test base class here. If I want it, I can click on apply in this, right? Let me apply, and it is asking me to create a new file. Right, so let's create a new file. Now this file is created, it is having the driver class. But see, here why the human is needed, right? Because it's not doing everywhere, right? So we should do changes to the existing things very carefully because this test-based class is created. But I'm not inheriting as of now, right? Unless I use it, there is no use of it, right? Now it is telling me that app test, the class, right? This class, it should right now this should be changed to inherit change those functions, right? So now let's apply this as well. So if you see, it is changing the class, it has all automatically inherited this, right? This test based class which it created. Okay, now I'm getting changes at a particular place, right? I can keep it or I can undo it. So let me keep it for now. Okay, there is an error. Let's see what is the error. Initialize driver. It's not able to call that, and test base is not there. So let's try to fix this also via Copilot. Most probably it is an error that I think it's not importing the new class that got created. Okay, so it is giving, yeah, so it has given that, okay, you have not imported this. I accept it. So the problem is gone, right? So it introduced the problem and it fixed it as well. Right now it is suggesting that we are using some grouping right on top of this. So it is suggesting that we can probably make that as constant, right? Remove the math utilities, right? All of this. Again, there are some tips, right? So, right, so that is also good. And other things, so yeah, some of these things also you can remove, right? These warnings. Instead of going everywhere, right, we can do the acceptance and all, right? To save time, I am not showing it. Let me delete this for now. Yeah. Now the other thing is that like so you can try all of this like terminal last command, test failure, VS Code API. If you want to select a particular file, there is an option, right? Which file you want to do, or if you want, let's say you are creating a pipeline, right? You want that only pipeline related folders should be used as a context because then it can give you better answers, right? In general also, if you're talking to someone and if you give them better context, they can give you answer according to your needs, right? So if I give folder here, it is giving me an option which folder I want to select, right? So what I did is I gave here GitHub last command and it has given me a very good it has created a very good documentation, right, that I can use for my project, right? So let me go to readme file and see how is my current one, right? So there is nothing much written in my readme file, right? So what I do is I will apply this, right? So let's see if it changes my readme file or not, right? So I have got a very good documentation for my project, right? So doing this manually is like trouble, right? And it has added this code structure, all of it, right? Without like spending much time, I have got all of this, and it gives you an option like whether you want to accept everything or not. So let me keep it, right? So I'll raise a PR for this, right? How much easy it is. If you saw, I made so many changes in this video, and this video will not last, I think, more than 10-15 minutes, right? And also while recording, I did all of this, right? A test based class got added, right? This app test automatically it applied all these changes, right? Which I did not do at all. Also, it can generate this PR message, right? Generate commit message with Copilot, this button, right? So it will generate a message also for me, right? I don't have to, but you should edit it, right? So that is the thing with AI. They always suggest answers could be wrong, right? You should always review it, right? So remove unused files and all, right? So yeah, we should review this. I should test it, right? But just here for the purpose of this, I'm showing you that how easy it is to do stuff, right? If I commit here, there are saved files. Let's save all and do a commit. Right, so this is done. So keep watching, like doing this star, like this forward slash, and maybe do these things. Like if there is a failure, if you type here, automatically it is giving a prompt that if you want to create a new Jupyter notebook, right? Generally it is used in Python, right? And if you want to create a, let's say, a new project with testng, JUnit 5 or whatever, right? It can create you a basic structure in that Selenium testng that we saw in the previous video as well. So this and also this hash, sorry, this forward slash, if you combine these two things, you can do a lot of things, right? And this changes is very good because you can get your code reviewed, right, and fix it here itself before raising a PR and then doing it there. Right, let me quickly raise a PR and see if it gives us the option, right? Git push origin main, and we can say go. So code has been successfully pushed, and let's create a pull request now. Right, so I have created this pull request. Let me show you the repo, how it was before and how it is afterwards. So if you see that it is a very basic, like there is no documentation as such because it was for this playlist. Now once I merge this PR, you'll see the difference. Right, so it is merged now. Let's refresh it. Right, if you see, a very good structure has come and I have not written any of these, right? So yeah, but we have to do it carefully. Just for video, I did it in a fast manner so I can delete these tips also, which came automatically. But it was quite fast to do all of this. So today we have covered from this mind map these portions, right? So we have not seen all of it, but typing at the rate. So this workspace refers to the full project, right? Terminal, GitHub, and VS Code if you want to ask any VS Code specific information, right? These hashtags gives you various options. So the best option was changes, right? So the smart action can really help you. So, and they keep on adding more and more things. Right, my favorite so far is that I'm able to review my changes and it created documentation as well. Right, so hope you like it and do comment on this and how you are using it. Thank you for watching.